Hey, yo, it's Ty Rich, and you watching Bite the Podcast. My guest today is Natalia from House of XL Bullies. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Good morning,
Thank you.
everyone.
Good morning. I appreciate you getting on the platform. I know we had a lot of hitting and missing with our schedules,
Yes,
but
and thank you for being so understanding.
yes. So I have a couple questions for you
All
that I
right.
want to ask you for the podcast. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your experience with the XL American Bullies? What made you start breeding
Yes.
them?
y- Yes. Okay. So I have been a breeder for 4 years, and it all started because I rescued a dog that I ran her DNA and it came out as American Bully. And I was like, oh my goodness, I love this girl. I love her personality. I love her demeanor. I love her body. And so I started to research that and I purchased my first American Bully. And that's my girl Dolce, the mama of all my babies. And it went from there. I got one and then now I have 17.
And you said that was 4 years ago.
That was 5 years ago. I'm so sorry. Yes.
Five 5 years ago. Wow,
Yeah,
wow.
2018.
Yeah. Do you still have her?
Yes, she's very much alive and running and swimming. I just posted a video the other day. My boy, which is her son, Bronco, he did amazing at a show, and every time he does amazing, I come home to thank her. So I took her for an extra long walk. She ate extra special meat that day, and then she went for 2 swims. She loves swimming, so she's amazing. She's my best girl, and she's the reason why I have such a good program.
So before her, you knew nothing about breeding.
Before her, I knew nothing about breeding, and I didn't know that I wanted to be a breeder just because I thought that, breeders had like a bad connotation.
Hmm.
And I was doing rescue. So in the rescue world, the breeders were the bad people. And then I realized that a lot of dogs end up in shelters, yes, it's because of bad breeding practices. And so I said, I am in love with this breed and I will do always my absolute best to create dogs that are stable, that have a good head, like that have a good temperament, that make good decisions because they're bred correctly. So that's been one of my things that I really focus on with my dogs is temperament. And I want people to be like, I take this dog everywhere and I have no problems.
Right.
And XLs are known to be hot tempers, so that's a big focus for us to make sure that our dogs are sound and they can be in every single environment and make the right choices because they're bred correctly.
Okay. Yeah. You just touched on your dog Bronco. I did notice that was last weekend. He went to the show and racked up a lot of
Yes.
ribbons. Yeah. Can you tell us
Oh,
about that
yes.
show? That show.
Yes. So this was our first time to do a BRC show. We've always shown ABKC, and we decided to just hit the road it was in Indianapolis. So it was about a 14 drive for me. It was a long drive, but we did fantastic. All the dogs there were beautiful. I was surprised to see such a great community. I loved the quality of the dogs that were there. I was like, this is amazing competition. Most of the excels that were there were way bigger than Bronco, but Bronco is a showman. Like since the moment he could stand, I started stacking him. So he's just he knows that it brings me a lot of joy. So he performs amazing. I think that's why we did so great this weekend. He won best of winners, best male several times. We made it all the way to the last run of best in show, which was a huge deal for me because I normally don't get to do that in the ABKC because it's hard to make it that far with an XL to the ABKC. It's only the standards or the pockets, but at the BRC, the XLs are allowed to run by themselves on like best of winners. And so that allowed me I won that best of winners and allowed me to be in best in show the last run. So I'm really, really happy.
Right. Right. That's good. Congrats on the win. Congrats on the win.
Thank you. I saw your friend there too. He
Okay.
had his
Okay. Yeah.
Frenchies. I was
Yeah.
like, oh,
Yeah.
good to
Yeah.
see you here.
Um. You touched a little bit on the temperament. Can you
Yes.
describe the characteristics and traits of your XL? Bullies.
Yes. So what I'm looking for in my XL program and the puppies that stay here and make it is I'm looking for dogs that have a zest for life. They're excited about everything. They're easygoing. They're eager to please. They're humble. They're workable. They're teachable, and they're able to be with males and females, no problems, no aggression, no food aggression, no human aggression. I'm able to walk my dogs all on a lead and have no problems. I'm able to walk in a show with my dog, and that dog has no problems with anybody. So that's what I look for in a dog that I will keep, that I will breed, and that I will work with. I start with any dog that I get. I start taking them everywhere, and I start observing. Okay, what are the things that he's doing on this situation or she's doing on this situation, and if I see something that is coachable, that I can, train out, then awesome. If it's something that something's not right up here, something's not right with the genetics of this dog, then it's not worth for me breeding, because I do not want to breed into this world an unmanageable beast. The XLs are huge, at least 100 pounds for a female, and all the way to 140 and 50 pounds for a male. So can you imagine a dog with aggression of that size? It's a
Right.
liability for a family, it's a liability for the community, and it is also bad for the breed. So I don't go there at all.
Right. Right. Definitely. How do you ensure the health and well-being of the XL bullies that you raise?
So we do embark. We make sure that genetic wise they are sound and good. We do, if the dogs are white, we do ears, and we test, like, we test their hearing, we test their vision. We also we've done pen hip, we've done OFA, and then we just make sure that we feed them correctly, that we give them everything that they need to thrive and to be healthy. And so far, we've had a very good, we've never had problems with any puppies or with any dogs. And if we were to have any problems that have to do with something that happened in the genetics, then we always take care of our customers and our clients for that. We haven't had one so far. So all of our dogs are embark tested, and the dogs that have made it to pass two for the breeding program, then we do OFA and pen hip and all of that. And then
Oh,
our
that's
white dogs that we produce, we definitely check, hearing and vision.
right. That's great. That's great. What sets
Yeah.
your program, your American, your XL bullies, apart from other XLs? What, in your opinion?
What sets me apart?
Yeah.
I would say something that really sets me apart is that my dogs have a very unique look to them. Like, they all look the same. They all have that same quality, same, you can expect the same chest, the same head shape, the same rears, the same movement. I focus a lot on movement because, like I said, I love to show. And so I really do pay attention to the dogs that I'm going to breed together, that they're able to move the way that they were designed to move. So I pay a lot of attention how those legs move, and that goes hand in hand with having healthy hips, healthy elbows, with having the right weight and the right proportions of the dog. So I would say that sets me apart, and also the amount of love and effort that we put into our dogs. Our clients say your dogs have been shown so much love that I am incredibly happy with what I have at home. So that for me is something that I'm very proud of, because I do put a lot of work into my puppies. We raise them completely different from day one. We use a program called puppy culture. So we expose them to a lot of good stress so that they have a good heart. Like their response, the stress response in their life is good from the beginning. We make sure that in the whelping process that they have good hips and joints from the beginning by having the right whelping place and the right whelping supplies. And then as they're growing and experiencing the world, we put them through so many challenges and so many things that they have to use their brain to problem solve, that makes them in turn super puppies. So I think that that's one of the things that we've heard a lot from our clients, is like, this puppy is incredible. And it's the work that we put in from the moment that they were in the womb all the way to they get to their homes. And then a lot of our clients too, um, they request for our puppies to be trained. So we have trainers that we work with. Either if it's for service, if you want a dog that is going to be trained for emotional support, or if you want a dog that's going to be trained for show. So we send them early. I say, okay, before the puppy gets to you, we're going to go ahead and send the puppy to this trainer, and we're going to work on this, and you're going to be taught how to continue to work with your puppy so you have a successful life with your dog. So I think that's something that we do, and we stay in the life of that puppy forever. We have dogs here that the dogs are grown and they come and they stay with us when their parents are away, or they come back for more training, or I take them with me to the shows. So it just depends on what people are going for. But I think that that's something that sets us apart, is that relationship with the dogs from the beginning.
You're also a handler, correct?
Well, I handle my own babies. I had a hilarious experience. I was at a show and my handler was busy at the moment at the other side of the ring on the other show, and my dog Bronco made it to best of winners. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so nervous. I don't know what I'm doing. But we did so great and we came this close to winning if I could have had him stand still. And the judge told me, he's like, you should show your boy, because watching him show for you was incredible. He did amazing for you. And so that just sparked this like love for me. I'm like, oh my God, I really should. Like, this dog I've been training, like this dog's first breath was with me. Like, I revived the puppy in my hands. So I have my workers here. and and so I just had that moment of like, I should show my babies. Why am I not showing my dogs? And so I just took it upon myself to teach myself to watch people at the shows. I paid for a few handler classes with people that have been doing this for years and years and generations. And then I always have people watch me that know what they're doing. I said, hey, I'm about to go into the ring. Is there a way that you can watch me and give me some feedback? So when I walk out, I'm like, what did I do good? Because I need the good first for my self esteem. And then what are the things that I can improve? And they are very good to tell me, hey, you did good, but you missed out on the speed. You could have done better on your speed. Or you did really good, but it was very hard for you to hold him still. So you need to go back home and make sure that you work with his focus and that he's able to stay there for you. So all those things are just part of growing, and it's part of being able to showcase my dogs. And I think that handling them has allowed me to see them also in a different light, because you're able to really, you're not blind to their flaws. You know what you're working with, and okay, if I was to create a dog from this dog, I know that I will add a dog that would have X, Y, and Z, because I see at the show and I look at other dogs, and I measure my dog to other dogs, and I know that I can do better. So handling has made me, I would say, has given me a better eye, has given me a better eye to see the qualities that I want on an XL.
Right. Yeah. Okay. With the also with the training and stuff like that, I heard you
Mhm.
just say like your worker, and you said you have 15 dogs. So do you have kennel staff?
No, I don't have, but I do want to get some. So I'm on the process of building my kennels out of shipping containers. And what I want to do is I want to find a family from either from South America or any country, and I want to give them the opportunity to come to America, because I have my LLC, and I want to hire them, but they have to have experience with animals. They have to be able to train them and help me with them. So I'm looking for somebody that either has, veterinary education or training education, so that I can give them a visa to come and work with me. And I really want to do this for a family. I'm an immigrant and I came to this country for a better opportunity, and this country has blessed me back. So I want to do that for somebody else. So
That's dope.
probably, yeah, so probably at the end of the year, beginning of next year, I will be able to put in my application with the government to be able to welcome either a male or a female or a family, a small family. I'm going to build them a little casita so they can live here with me. I have 40 acres, and then I want to continue to expand. I want to have lambs for the dogs. I want to have goats. I want to have chickens so I can have raw eggs for them. So I really do need some help.
Right. Now I also noticed that you do makeup, correct?
Yes,
You like
yes,
you're a
yes.
makeup artist. How do you balance like going from dainty, pretty makeup and then dealing with these, like you said, big dogs, these beasts? How do you
I
balance that?
know. I have no idea how I balance it, but right now I am taking a little break from the whole hair makeup world because my job with the hair makeup world is luxury destination weddings and being able to be gone for 4 to 5 days, sometimes 2 weeks, and I can't do that right now because I don't have the help that I need. So I right now I put that on hold a little bit. I'm only doing my local clients, the people that are in Texas, that I can just be gone for 6, 8 hours at a time and then come back home. But it is a fun job. I've done it for 12 years. I built that business out of nothing and it's been very, very successful. And the people that are in that industry with me, they know that I'm building my ranch. They know that I'm building my dogs. They know that I'm taking a little time to really put my heart, my passion, my time into my dogs.
That's great. That's great.
Yes.
Can you tell me what are some common misconceptions that people often have when it comes to these XL bullies that you gotta, take up for them?
Yes, I would say one of the biggest things is like physically, I feel like we need to do better. So we are a little bit at a disadvantage because a lot of excels are not bred correctly, so they look either too skinny, too Great Dane, or too mastiff. So physically, I would say there's a little bit of a, those dogs don't even look like American bullies. So,
All
and
right.
you see that at the shows. You see, like, wow, you can really tell that there was a mastiff put in there to create that dog, but it's too like loose skin. So I would say the misconception is that they're not up to par to where they need to be as a breed, as an American bully, as a representation of the breed in the XL class. So that is something that we can do better and we can fix with time. And another misconception I would say is aggression. But we do see a lot of times that people don't put in the time to train these dogs, and when they show up to a show, those are the loudest barks that you hear at the show. "Whoa," and you're like, oh my god. So it's one of the things that I see that people think, excels are the most maybe the most aggressive, but they really are not. They're teddy bears, and when you give them the time, the proper training, the proper set of rules, and the guidance, these dogs are just the most chill, laid back, most lovable beings ever. And that's why I love them.
Okay. Can you walk us through the process of breeding? Like how I breed Frenchies. So
Uh huh.
I know our process is probably two different worlds.
Uh
So
huh.
can you walk me through the process when you're breeding?
So, like from selecting a stud and all of that?
Right.
Yes. Okay. So, right now, I have a lot of like breedings that I'm trying to match up. And one of the things that I like to do is I like to put my dog's strengths, like good head, good chest, beautiful feet, or like I just start listing all the things that I love about my dog and what I want to pass on, right? For example, Bronco, I want all his babies to have that beautiful gait. He has the most gorgeous movement, and every time I show him, everyone, it doesn't matter what kind of dog they have, they always, when I walk out, they're like, that dog moves amazing. So for me, I'm going to focus on being able to pass that, his temperament, his movement, and all the great qualities. Then I list all the things that I can do better. I can have a better head. I can have thicker, like more mass. So I need more volume. I need more mass. I need more shorter back. So I start listing all the things that I need, and then I start looking for the complement to that, whether it's a female or a male. If I see a female that someone has and they're willing to work with me, then I would want to keep a puppy from that to continue to build on that, right? Or if it's a female, I'm looking for a male that will completely complement and add to that female. Okay, if is my female missing bone? Is she missing volume? Is she missing the right structure in her muscle? Like, what are the things that my dogs are missing that I can make better? Because the amazing thing about the American Bully is that it's such a young breed, and we have a huge opportunity to make a big impact now, and especially with the XLs. There's only a few kennels that have the right recipe right now, and I feel like as an XL breeder, I know that I can leave a good mark by being very mindful, but not being blind about the flaws that I have, and by being open to work with other people and work with other kennels and be like, okay, I really need, they really perfected this chest on these males, and on these females. I really need to probably breed to that kennel because I need to add that to my program. So that's how I start my process of selecting dogs. I don't go for the most famous stud. I don't go for the most. I don't fall for that because I know that I have an opportunity to make a difference right now. So I'm looking for the right structure. I want the look of the standards and the pockets and the XLs. So that's what I'm going for right now. I'm making sure that my puppies have the right volume, the right mass, the right rears, the right head shape. Every time I have somebody that can come and look at my puppies and give me feedback, that's what I work on. So that's my breeding, my selection of breeding process. And I'm looking for breeders that are going to work with me that have the same mentality, the same heart, that treat their dogs well, they take care of their dogs, they showcase their dogs. That's the kind of people that I want to build with. So when it comes to breeding and selecting the right dogs, that's what I focus on right now.
That sounds like a great process. We talked on this a little bit earlier in the
Mhm.
conversation. Socializing. Can we put a little bit more
Mhm.
emphasis on that? How do you socialize them?
Well, my puppies are socializing from the minute they can walk. So, socializing for me is exposing them to different sounds, textures, different people. When my puppies turn 6 weeks, I have a puppy party and I invite people from all colors, all ages, people with glasses, people with hats, people with beards, people with dreadlocks, elderly people, young babies. I invite everything that I can get my hands on, and I put the puppies there so that they know, oh, this person, oh, that's interesting. Like they just start associating. Okay, dreadlocks, nothing wrong with that. Glasses, nothing wrong with that. Hat, nothing wrong with that. And that's how we do too with like the sensory. We take them places once they have their shots and everything. If I'm keeping any of the dogs, my dogs do stay a little bit longer here than most breeders. I probably send my puppies after 12 weeks because I want to make sure that my puppies are microchipped and they have my name in that microchip so that I can always recover that dog if anything was to happen, right? So in those weeks that I have with them, they go to Tractor Supply, they go to Home Depot, they go in the car, they go swimming. I mean, we do absolutely everything in our power to give them every single experience that they will have in the real world. So that way, when they're there, they're like, I've done this, and my mom showed me, and everything was fine, and they're not
Right,
freaking out.
right,
I also teach my pet parents. I'm like, your dog does not have to say hi to anybody. Like, do not teach that to your dog. Like, I like my dogs to keep to themselves and to keep by me because these are large dogs, and I want to command respect, and I want people to be like, I'm not gonna mess with that lady with that dog. And so my dog doesn't have to act super friendly. I just don't want him to freak out. So when I take my puppies out, and I see that the puppies notice I know the dog and look back at me, I'm like, yes, yes, because your attention is on me. You noticed the dog, you checked it out, you were fine, and you came right back to me. So that's what I reward. I reward a dog that is fine everywhere, that is going to be calm and collective in every situation. And that's how I train my show dogs. Every time we walk in, the dogs, it's intense, and the dogs are very close, but that dog looks back at me and I'm like, yes, That's what I want. You're with me, I'm with you, and I got your back. And that's how I socialize my dogs.
How did you adopt that style of training? Like, I don't want to say you're a young breeder, but
Uh-huh.
you say you only been doing it for 5 years. What made you like? I don't know.
Well,
It seems
I
like
did.
you're very knowledgeable on training, and like that's a good thing.
Yes, well, I did a lot of rescue before. And when you get a rescue baby, you have no idea what they've been through. You have no idea what they've encountered in life. And it was my job to make sure that I made the world seem okay for them. So I think that that gave me a really good basis. Working with people that work in the rescue world, they have had to untrain dogs from horrible things because people were so horrible to them. So I think that that gave me a very good understanding on dog psychology and understanding how dogs view the world. And for me as a breeder, I just want my puppies to know that I have their back. I'm never going to let anybody hurt you. I'm never going to let anybody do anything wrong. So when a dog feels like that, they're like, I'm cool. I'm happy. And they do amazing. So I think that, and I teach that to my pet parents. Hey, you have to show your dog that you're in charge, that you're the leader, you're in control. And the dog's job is to be with you and to be for you and to do everything with you. But just, is the relationship is like this. So I think that just that having that experience of rescuing and working with rehabilitating dogs and giving them a second chance and finding them the right homes, that has helped me put into all of that thought into who do I select for my puppies, who do I let my puppies go to, because I already know the horrible part of the dogs, the dog breeding and where they can end up. And I don't want that for anybody. I don't want that for the families to experience something negative, and I don't want that for the puppies. And I always make sure I tell my people that get my dogs, the dog will always have a home with me. If anything happens, that dog can always come back to me, and they know that, and I think that's a safety. You don't have to hide, you don't have to take it to a shelter. That dog, I created that dog, it's my responsibility, and I would always have their back, period.
That's great. How do you prepare your bullies? And I don't want to, yeah, XLs. I don't want like because
Uh-huh.
these are particularly XLs. How do
Yes.
you prepare your XL bullies for shows and competition? Like, how do y'all get ready? Like,
Like, okay, so preparation starts from the moment they're born. We talked about that, but the minute that they can stand, I start stacking them. So from the beginning, there is something that we do every day. If I see a dog that, wow, this dog has everything I want to showcase and to show the world what I'm doing, then it's the process of going to the show starts from the moment they can stand. And then after that is they start going to the shows as puppies the minute they have their shots. They start going in, and all the training for show training happens at the shows with the puppies. So real life training, it happens at the ring before everything happens. And they are exposed to other dogs, bigger dogs, little dogs, Frenchies, XLs, like they see everything. So that's our preparation for the show. And when we're ready to show them, the week of the show, these dogs eat like kings and queens. We have access to a lot of local meats. We have access to goat milk. So the dogs really go through a process of packing on weight. I decrease their activity so that they can put on some weight, because here they run a lot and they're very lean. But once we know that we're going to a show, then it is a feast time for these dogs. They really need to eat well. And some dogs will, it's so hard to put weight on, and some they do amazing, but we try our best because they do have to have the right mass for them to look great in the show ring, right? And then 2 days before the show, we go to a pet wash. They go through all this cleaning, like amazing stuff. We do nails, we do teeth, we do everything we have to do to make sure that they look spotless. And then the day before the show, I don't feed them, and I don't feed them the day of the show, so that they are like, I need to work for this food.
right? That's
And
great.
so, and we also give our dogs alkaline water the week of the show because alkaline water is more hydrating than regular water. So we make sure that our puppies, that our dogs are really hydrated so that they look really good and those muscles just pop when they're in the ring.
Wow. Wow.
So there's a
That's
lot of
great.
thought behind that.
All right. Um, Proudest moments as a
Proudest
XL
moment.
breeder and a
Oh,
handler.
proudest moments. Oh my gosh. Bronco. Bronco has been, he is just such a beautiful dog, and he knows that it means the world for me that he does well. And he shows me, he's like, I'm gonna do you right, watch me. And he just comes out of in that show ring like, look at me, like he just has this beautiful presence about him. So I've had a lot of beautiful moments like that. Another beautiful proud moment I had was my the litter mate to Bronco. We had a litter with the aunt, his aunt, her name is Rebel, and all those puppies turned out to be phenomenal. So that's a proud moment for me. A proud moment for me is when somebody that owns one of my puppies calls me or shows the dog and say we won. So those are proud moments for me, and I'm always just happy to see the dogs do well and thrive. That's when I'm like, oh, I just I can do this all day long when I see them do amazing.
All right. Now we're gonna go on the other end of the spectrum of that question, the opposite.
Yes.
Challenges. Can you tell us about any challenges you have faced with this breed?
I would say challenges is when people project their fears into their puppy, into their dog, and they cause them problems that were not there because of their belief, you know? Um, I've seen dogs that have come back to me and I'm like, this is so sad because I know I didn't raise this dog to act like this or to feel this way about this situation. I know that I can unwire that in their brain, but when I see that it's something that the pet parents did because they didn't have enough education, or I could have done a better job at educating them, then that's a challenge. For me, I just don't want any of the dogs to end up in a shelter. I don't want any of the dogs to end up displaced or abused because of a behavior issue. So that is something I'm really strong on, and that is something that I see a lot with people. When they get a dog, they project, they humanize the dog and they project all this stuff on them that that's not how dogs think. That's not how they operate. But you're making it go this direction because of the energy you're putting into this dog. We are energy, dogs are energy. They they read everything very well. So that's probably one of my biggest challenges, to make sure that these dogs grow up to be the way they're supposed to be, and that I give out the right education to my pet parents so that these dogs just shine. And when they don't shine, it kills me. It breaks my heart.
How do you stay up to date with the latest developments and trends in the XL community?
Um, I think it happens at the shows. I try not to be on Facebook too much because sometimes the social media crowd is just keyboard bullies, and there's a lot of trash back and forth. I am more like an in-person type of. I do love social media and I try my hardest to do well there too, but I don't try to engage on anything that is not gonna build me up or build my dogs up. And I feel like at the shows, you have serious people that are there, that are putting in the work, that have experienced these dogs for a long time, and they are the ones that have the soundest and the most logical and the most trial and error. Like they've tried and they failed and now they're like winning. So that's the people I want to talk to, and that's the people I want to learn from. That's the people I want their feedback. That's the people I want them to say, hey, that's awesome, but you can do this. And I'm like, okay, I'll do that. Because that's the people that, they're the real breeders out there. They're the ones that are putting the real work. So to me, that's where I stay current. I see dogs that I'm like, wow, I really like that male. That's the style that I'm going for. Let me work with this person. So that's where I gain all my trends or my or where is the XL going to. I love meeting people face to face. Like I love being able to touch the dog, see the temperament, see what they can do in person. That is more me, who I am, and that's how I
Um,
learn.
how, describe uh Natalia's day-to-day life with these dogs.
Oh,
How does it start when you get up in the day? How does it start?
okay. So I wake up at 4 in the morning, and I do all my social media posts from 4 to 6. At 6, my girls, when it starts to get light outside, I start getting my girls out, the girls that can go together. So we spent anywhere from 6 in the morning all the way to 11 or 12 getting the dogs exercise. When the summertime comes, the that exercise is shorter or is in the water, and then they sleep for hours, and then they come back out again at nighttime. I have groups of dogs that get along together and they do very well together. So we go out in groups. Like I said, I had 40 acres. So we go out on a big, big, big walk, and then we end up with a swim. If it's too cold, we don't swim, but they do get their feet in there and they get to just be dogs and sniff everything. So I do spend a lot of time exercising them because these are large dogs. If you do not exercise these dogs, they will eat you out of the house. They become destructive, they have behavior issues. It's just not good for these dogs to be idle, you know? They need activity and they need each other and they need playtime. They need to be dogs. So we just take off running and we just do a big lap. Every dog gets at least 45 to an hour of exercise, active. Like I'm talking like heavy duty running, heavy duty swimming, because they need that. They need that for their brain. They need that for everything, for their physique, for their muscles. It's just part of being a dog. So I spend most of the day with them. Then I take a big break. I work on whatever I have to work on, whether it's my website or my clients, or meeting people if I have to. And then we do this again at nighttime. It's a little bit shorter. And then the dogs sleep and eat. I always feed my dogs after they've worked out a lot and they spent all their energy. I feed them and I let them sleep for a good 6 hours, and then we come back out again. So
Wow,
that's my day.
very active, very active.
Yes, very active. I've lost 69 pounds since I moved here because we have all this space, and I do that whole run like 4 times or 5 times. So every day I walk at least 12 to 15,000 steps with the dogs.
Wow.
Isn't that
So not
awesome?
right. So not only is it good for the dogs, it's also great for you.
Oh my God, it's so good for me. I have no aggression problems, no behavior issues. They work me out.
Right, right. What advice would you give to someone who wants to become an XL owner, breeder, or handler? One of the three. What advice could you give?
Okay, for an owner, somebody that wants an XL companion, you are signing yourself up for a large teddy bear that will require a very good foundation for training. But more than anything, the joy that you will have from walking with a big dog anywhere is just unmatched. I have Frenchies too, and it's not the same walking in with a Frenchie than walking in with a big, potent, just impressive dog. It's like everybody stops and they're like, "Wow!" So that is a feeling nobody can take away from owning an Excel. But it does take work. It does take you putting in the work to have a beast that is a teddy bear, a manageable baby that can walk in with you anywhere. Protection wise, nobody's ever going to mess with you with a dog like that. So, putting in the work to train your dog will allow you to always be safe, always be protected. Nobody's going to mess with you when you have an XL like that. So, for an owner, I would say you can expect to have a beautiful, gorgeous, muscled up teddy bear. It will take work in terms of education. The bully is a very intelligent dog. It's highly their desire is to please you. So the more challenges you give them, the more training you do with them, the better dog you will have. For anybody that wants to become a breeder, I would say do your research, figure out what lines you like better. There are some lines of Excels that have been known for aggression, so I will stay away from that. Health wise, I would also make sure that I meet the dogs in person, that I meet the parents, that I meet where that I see where where they're keeping these dogs to make sure that you're buying a dog from somebody that really loves the dogs and gives them the life that they deserve. And for becoming a handler, it is a hell of a workout to handle these dogs. They are so big and so heavy. When I come home, I am beat for like 2 days, and my arms hurt, my back hurts, like everything hurts because they are just so big, right? But it comes with training and it comes with the territory, and the more training you put on your dog, the better you're able to present your baby, your XL, and the better you're able to present your Excel, the better you are as a handler, as a breeder, showcasing the work that you've been doing. That it takes years for us to have a dog walking in the show ring. You're looking at 4 years of work. So
Right.
it's a labor of love. It does take a lot of work, but it is so rewarding.
Okay. Can you tell us about your future plans for and or goals with your breeding program and
Yes.
also showing the dogs?
Yes. Okay. So I have a beautiful litter coming up with my female. This the litter made to Bronco, and I am planning on keeping two females from that. I haven't shown any females yet. I'm showing my little pocket baby, but I don't have any XLs that I've been able to show. So I am. I think that she will produce the dogs that I need to be able to show. So showing wise, I know that I will have some from that litter to be able to show. And then breeding wise, I am breeding my XL females to incredible grand champions that are not XLs because I'm working towards that mass that we need in XL. I need wider, more compact, and more bone. That's what I'm looking for. So I am working towards that. So I'll probably keep a lot of those readings. That's why I'm building my kennels. And then I'm also looking for people that have my same heart, my same understanding, and my same goals to be able to clone some of my best dogs with them.
Well, yeah. Sounds like you're gonna be busy. Sounds like you're gonna be very
Yes,
busy. Okay,
yes, I'm gonna
well,
be busy. I'm gonna be shocking the world too with my stud selection because I'm gonna be using some really incredible dogs that I after like working with these people at the shows and me showing them Bronco and showing them the females that I have at home, they're willing to take the risk with me because these are grand champions, like very well known dogs that they're like, I don't know if I want to let my nice amazing dog go to an XL. But I'm like, I promise you that this is a project of mine. It's not to be able to have a ton of money. Is for me to be able to make a mark in the breed now, and then later on we'll figure out the money situation. But right now I just want to figure out the dog. I want to create the right proportions, the right everything, so that later on in the American Bully books my name goes somewhere in there.
yeah, I can definitely see that happening. You very
Thank
informative.
you.
You very informative. Um, Once again, I just want to appreciate you for getting on the platform today and allow me to
Thank
interview
you.
you. Can you tell the viewers where they can contact you at?
Yes. Okay. So I have a website is houseofisabullies.com. I also love people to FaceTime me because I want to show you my puppies at all times and the parents and everything. So you can also FaceTime me 214-693-4044. And then I have an Instagram is the House of Isa Bullies underscore. I had a bigger account, but it was taken down. And you can always find me by the hashtag House of Isa Bullies. And Facebook is my name, Natalia Isa, and then I also have a Facebook page, the same, House of Isa Bullies. So thank you for inviting me. This was great. I
No,
appreciate
this was
that.
this was this was definitely awesome.